What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and we have some fantastic news for you this morning. Really, I mean, there's some positives here, mainly being that this movie is not actually happening. And then there is some negatives because I would like to have seen it fail. Now, for the record, I'm not here to say, women in leading roles shouldn't happen, any of that kind of garbage. Please, for the love of God, don't take this the wrong way. Don't spin my words. Here's the deal. We'll actually catch you guys up in case people didn't know. I know actually probably many people did. So I like Margot Robbie. I think as an actress, she's really, really great. Not as an actress, well, it's a little bit more shaky, specifically with Pirates of the Caribbean. So to catch people up, she said a long time ago when she had confirmed that this project was happening that this was going to be a female-led movie. That really, and actually the quote was pretty much that all characters would be female. Now she's taken that back, which I find very funny because either she lied or she was exaggerating, or it doesn't look good no matter what the situation may be. But she said that, and then of course the main quote that I had lashed onto immediately that got me so furious, I made an entire rant video where I was pretty fuming in that video, is when she said that there's basically never been, I don't even think she said basically, there's never been strong female characters in Pirates of the Caribbean. And so that quote right there really solidified to me that I never want Margot Robbie touching a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Plus it'd be with her, and I believe the Birds of Prey writer, which was also just a complete, that movie, I don't personally like it, and I don't think the writing is very good. I think that's probably the weakest part of it. So it just had disaster written all over it. But mainly that comment, Pirates of the Caribbean has never had strong females, so I guess Elizabeth doesn't exist. The third movie is literally her film. I guess Penelope Cruz, Angelica, I guess she doesn't exist. I guess Karina doesn't exist. One of the highlights, the best characters in 5, better in my opinion than Jack Sparrow himself in Pirates 5. So I guess none of these characters exist to Margot Robbie because they're not the lead character, only Jack Sparrow is, right? That's what it actually comes down to. So that comment was disgusting, and from that comment on, I was thinking, oh, so you want to make a Pirates of the Caribbean movie and you've never seen one before. Well, that's going to work out really nice for you. Plus, of course, the Johnny Depp stuff. So it's kind of a mix, Margot Robbie saying some of the most stupid things you could possibly say, plus the fact of, you're really going to make a spin-off movie without Johnny Depp, and then without kind of, finishing off what you started with him and leaving it up in the air and all that. Like, it was just going to fail. So again, the bad news is we don't get to see this movie fail, because this movie 100% would have bombed at the box office. It would not have made its money back. I don't know what you would want me to bet on, but I would absolutely bet that would happen. All right, so let's read the quote, because Margot confirms it now she says like they didn't want to do it or they don't want to do it. It was canceled. So let's read the quote. "We had an idea and we were developing it for a while, ages ago, to have a more of a female-led, not totally female-led, but just a different kind of story, which we thought would have been really cool, but I guess they don't want to do it." So again, she either made it up in the beginning part, so that the interview that I'm talking about, when she talks about there was no strong females. I wonder if she would change, what she thinks about it now. But either she lied there and said, yeah, like all females, just everything female. She either lied there or she's lying now. And she definitely is doing it for kind of like that political ideology reasonings, like the female-driven thing. She's definitely doing it for that reason. There's no other way to look at it. And I would imagine, by the way, what does this mean from a Disney angle? Well, I do want to talk about, Johnny Depp, but just on another, side of it. Well, okay, I really think that is the most important thing, right? Because you could look at, like, Charlie's Angels was a complete and utter disaster, right? You look at the 2016 female Ghostbusters, complete and utter disaster, right? So you had all that, and you could look at it where maybe Disney thinks, well, would we really want to try this with Pirates? It's probably not going to work. I do think they do have something up here, the good old brain. I do think they have that from time to time, but that's an aspect of it. When it comes down to, and I said this even on Twitter when I quote tweeted this, which again, this really made my day, just waking up and seeing this. And by the way, when I saw it, I saw the picture. So I saw Margot Robbie next to the skull and the logo of Pirates. I saw that. And I was like, oh my God, we're about to get some new, and then it said like it was canceled. I was like, holy Jesus. So it was a whole, like, waking up at 7:35 in the morning and seeing that stuff right away, I was kind of surprised. But, ultimately, beyond all of that, I really do think it has to do with Johnny Depp. And okay, in terms of like bringing him back, like could they bring him back? I do think it doesn't signal like 100% that that's going to happen, but I do think there's got to be something there. In fact, people had sent me this about a week or two ago. There was an interview with Jerry Bruckheimer where they flat out asked him, like, would you ever want to make another Pirates movie with Johnny Depp? And he said flat out, yes. The answer was yes. And then he kept going. So it's like, all right, so, ultimately Johnny Depp needs to approve of it. Disney needs to approve of it. But as long as you got Jerry Bruckheimer saying he'd be willing, as long as that feeling is always there, I think there's always still a chance. Always. Oh, so that quote or, that interview really did make me happy. But then besides all that, again, I do think Disney has something up here where they say, all right, this just won't work. Like and I talked about this before. They are literally stuck. They kind of screwed themselves with Pirates of the Caribbean, for good or bad, and for, whether you support Johnny Depp, a ton or a little or not at all. They really did, get themselves into a corner because you have made the franchise him. He is the franchise. So and I've actually said, I said this years ago, back with Pirates 5, I don't actually think he is the franchise. I think they just did poor execution. They could have made Pirates of the Caribbean bigger than just Jack Sparrow. They could have, because you can do spin-off things. I'm pointing at my TV over there. You could do like Disney Plus stuff. You could do like a prequel with Davy Jones. You could do Barbossa. You could expand Karina and Henry. Now maybe they weren't a big hit, right? But you could go down that route. You could bring Orlando Bloom back and do some sort of will thing post him losing his curse, so he's free to do whatever. I mean, you can expand and you can introduce more characters through all of that. Start to build. So you really could do, and I think you still can. Honestly, I think you still can. But maybe they missed that boat, right? So now what they're stuck on is, will people watch anything Pirates related if it doesn't have Jack Sparrow in it? Now, I think the answer is yes in like the perfect situations, and also now they really stuck themselves over the last couple of years with what they did to Johnny, because now it is stuck. Because now, even like, here's the deal. If Margot Robbie did a spin-off Pirates movie, even with all of her stupidity, her stupid comments that she talked about, if Johnny Depp and Disney were in good terms and he cameoed and they were making a Pirates 6 with him, and this is just separate, this is expanding the universe, I'd go watch the movie. Even beyond all her stupid comments, I'd go watch it because it's building out the universe, and maybe it's good, maybe it's not, whatever. But because of the Johnny Depp thing, I will not support, and I've said this before, I will not support anything Disney Pirates of the Caribbean. Not a single thing until they work it out with him. So that's the situation. I really believe I'm not just talking into the void. I think there's a lot of people that think the same way. Who's going to go see the Margot Robbie Pirates movie? Who? Whether it's because of her stupid comments, or whether because maybe Pirates was getting stale for some people, or it doesn't have Jack Sparrow, it doesn't have the main draw. There's you can keep going. There's plenty of reasons not to see it, right? And that's just one thing. Now, again, like a Davy Jones prequel is something I've talked about for years. I think we made a video on this channel 3-4 years ago to do something like that. That would be insane. It'd be insane. The question is, would I actually watch it? Because I had to stand on my my morals and my conviction of supporting Johnny. Would I actually watch it? But I think that's kind of where they're at, and I really do. I believe that, and I believe that they believe that there's really no path forward. So again, that's why I say like they're stuck. They I assume want to make more Pirates things, but they can't. They literally can't. They just canceled one. They had it planned out, but they canceled it. And I don't think it's because of, like, maybe, again, part of the reason is they look around at the trend and say, oh, this female-led thing, they do it for the wrong reason. It's purposely doing it. They tend to fail. Again, look at Ghostbusters or Charlie's Angels, and there's more. So maybe they look at that and say, well, that's just a bad trend. We don't want to be a part of that. But ultimately, I do think they look at it and say, well, truly, nobody's going to watch this. This doesn't have Johnny Depp in it, so nobody's going to watch it. And so we can't do literally anything. And I believe, at least over the last, 3 or so years, that's probably stopped them from doing anything and everything Pirates related that they wanted to. I have to believe that because Pirates of the Caribbean is such a moneymaker. Even at its worst, even at its absolute worst, Pirates makes money. So to just abandon it in a time where they love money. They love making money. And the Marvel movies, are starting to dip. Now, Black Panther, maybe not. But, some of the Marvel movies, like, they're not making as much money as you would want them to. Well, you got a franchise that's like, I'm not saying Pirates is bigger than Marvel. I'm just saying an additional thing. You have a big, a big IP over there, and you're just leaving it alone for so long. You've left it dormant. And now you have Disney Plus. You could do stuff with that. The options are endless. Why aren't you touching it? Well, I do believe it's because of Johnny Depp. So that's my rant. Great to see. This movie should never have happened in the first place. Yet again, like I said, I would have liked to seen it come out. I would have liked to seen it fail and get no money. And then I would have liked to watch it, down the line free, in some method or other, and seen how bad it was. Because I do assume it also would have been a pretty bad movie. And you could argue Pirates 4, Pirates 5, you could make whatever argument you want. I do think this would probably be the worst movie, easily, just based off trends of what, has happened with Hollywood recently. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on. I promise Pirates videos, and I will do them whenever news like this happens. So I appreciate you guys waiting on it. Appreciate you guys watching. I really do. Thank you, and I'll see you all on the next one.